Hello everyone, this is Hakusho here, and I'm going to be posting this around, I want to say around 2 in the morning. I'm recording this before then. Well, I'm recording it around 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, one thing I don't understand about today is apparently there was an accident nearby my work, and a lot of people were talking about it. Now, I won't go into details about that because it's none of my business. But after that, apparently one of the suppliers that brings stuff to the store I work at, their truck was supposed to arrive around 2 or 3 o'clock. It arrived at 8, and its truck was open. So stuff might actually have gone flying out. Apparently, I think most of it was accounted for, if not all of it. So today's been quite a crazy day. Along with the fact that I had a fight with my asthma. That part sucked the most. Anyways, after this, I am probably going to go to sleep. Now, whenever we last left off, I'm pretty sure Deku has returned to the world of the living. Actually, okay, I just had to look up where I left off at. Now then, this guy with a shit-eating grin. Yeah. Anyways, Deku would actually see him, and he would just think that that guy, he seems different. Now, whenever Deku is actually looking in his direction, he would then say that, wait, what's going on? Because for a minute, he would have thought he would see horns on the guy's head. Then after that, breaking his focus, Bakugo would walk in. Now, whenever someone did open the door, Deku actually did snap back into reality, and he actually covered his face with the menu. Now, whenever Bakugo did walk in, he would walk straight to this table and throw down an entire bag of comic books. Well, he would throw down a couple bags of comic books after pulling them out of his school bag. He would then say he didn't. Here's your stupid books. He didn't know which ones you wanted. So he got all different kinds. This guy would then tell Bakugo that this is pretty funny. He didn't know shoplifting. He didn't know that you got receipts for shoplifting. He then say, what difference does it make? It goes against his code to do that. Because Kuwabara in canon and Yu Yu Hakusho has this cool honor code where he doesn't steal, he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't do anything bad, and he actually respects people. But he always tries to beat the shit out of Yusuke. Simplest terms to put it. Now, after this, he would say, what does it matter? That he just got him his stinking comic books. Now, give him his, what was, oh no. Give him back. Give him back Mitsuki. Deku would have actually perked up knowing this, and he would have said Mitsuki. Oh god, they didn't really. And then after that, you would just hear a faint meow as Bakugo would scream Mitsuki, and this guy would hold up a cat. Yes, a cat. Bakugo in this timeline has a cat. If I have not mentioned that before. Pretty sure I have whenever Bakugo woke up screaming after the whole kissing Deku dream. Anyways, these guys would then actually walk out back And this guy would actually order Bakugo to beat his head against a tree. Bakugo would actually go to do this, but this guy said to keep doing it until he says to stop. Now, Bakugo probably would have done it 3 times before actually hesitating and trying to stop himself, because it's that self-preservation a human has. Now, he would have told Bakugo to continue, but Bakugo would have turned around and he would have actually turned around and started running at the guys, but so the guy would have broken a bottle and actually aimed it toward his cat. After this, Bakugo would have actually stopped and actually start walking back over the tree. Now then, all you would hear is, "Hey, mind if I butt in?" And then Deku would actually punch the guy who was holding this broken bottle up to a cat. Well, up to Mitsuki, the kitten. Because it's actually a baby kitten. Then Deku would have grabbed the kitten, and jump over everyone. He would land, and then he would slowly turn around. All those guys are in shock, seeing that Deku, well, the guy that apparently was the biggest and strongest person in town that died in a car accident, literally got back up and came back from hell. Because that's what they're all thinking. Now, whenever people actually would see Deku, Bakugo would have actually screamed Midoriya. Well, he would have said Midoriya questionably, and then Deku would have actually ran over to him, and these two would actually get into a fighting stance. Now, it would be like a boxing fighting stance, so they would just put their hands up. After this, Deku would then he would have actually started beating up a lot of these thugs. And afterwards, he actually starts chasing down the guy who has the horns. Now, after doing so, he would have knocked his lights out, and the guy would have passed out. Then a small little creature would come crawling out of his mouth. Deku would just scream, "What the hell is that thing?" And this thing would actually look at Deku, and it would start shouting at him. Stupid humans always butting in at the wrong time. Deku would just ask this thing what it's talking about. And this thing would actually just like stop for a second, like freeze, and then look at Deku and actually just start like he start moving around somewhat side to side, and Deku's actually following his movements. And this is whenever this thing would actually try taking off running. Deku would then actually pick it up. Now this thing is screaming at Deku that he can't do that, he can't do that. That's against all the rules. Like you're not supposed to be able to touch me or see me, or let alone barely hear me. Cause yeah, after that, Deku's actually holding this thing in his hand because it was that small, and he's thinking, what should he do with it? He could probably keep it in a jar in his room and feed it like what? What would a small demon like that eat? Could she Snickers or peanuts? Almonds? Hmm. Probably Kit Kats. Questions for later. Anyways, now then, after that, this mysterious fortune teller would actually have walked up to Deku explaining that that is the low ranking demon. He is wanted for many crimes, especially for possessing human bodies. Deku would then ask what she's talking about, and she would say, "Oh, that's very easy, Izuku." Or, "That's very easy, Midoriya." It's the fact that you're gonna be, well, you have passed the test. Deku would actually put his hands back up again with this thing still clutched in his hand and say, "How does she know his name?" She would then reveal herself to be Botan. And yeah, that is whenever Koenma would appear in the sky. If you guys have ever seen those like promotional posters where it's like a character looking out a window and then all of a sudden it'll show like you'll still be able to see like the sunset behind them, but you would see their reflection in the mirror. Yeah, it's basically like that. Quimo would appear in the sky, actually saying that, well, this was actually his first test, but now he has a mission for Deku. Well, he doesn't have a mission. He passed his test, and he will be actually be trained as a spirit detective. Deku would then ask what he means by that. Kuemo would say that it's very simple. Spirit detectives are essentially humans that have ended up in your situation, or they're humans with very high spirit energy. Now, spirit energy is actually something the human body produces, along with life energy. He would then go into the whole explanation that essentially every human body does generate this, even people with quirks, but it's a matter of using it. And some people with quirks are actually almost quite as attuned to people who are quirkless. Deku would have asked what he means by that, because he would kind of find that weird. That if you don't have a quirk, you're closer to the spirit world. Kono would say that it might have something to do with the way humans have evolved over the generations. That even though the human body did evolve to create quirks, it may have actually also evolved to nullify spirits or even fight against demons. That's why humans with quirks may actually not be able to see spirits at all or demons. That they might be immune to the effects. Now, after saying this, Deku wouldn't actually think about it, but he would find this kind of interesting because apparently some people with quirks can't see demons or even tell if spirits are around. Okay, I'll have time to go into this. Okay, after that, a couple days would pass, and he would eventually be walking with Mina back to high school. High school? No. Oh, that's the anime. That's the anime. I just got done watching a few episodes of it to catch up. I'll actually probably be able to get done with this part and have. So far, I've watched enough to where I'll probably have enough for this part and next episode, half of it. I'll have to watch more when I wake up. Yay. I hate ADHD. I drink. Well, I didn't drink. I more or less chugged. At work I get an hour lunch, and I decided that since our deli was closed at work, instead of going to McDonald's, because kind of got tired of going there and just eating that stupid food. It's not stupid, but eh, you get tired of it after a while. I've just been getting chicken sandwiches from there since they're so cheap. Okay, that's going into my personal life now. Anyways, what was I talking about? Okay, yeah, no. I basically just bought not an entire can of Pringles, and I bought two coffees. Now these things were basically like energy shots, and each one actually had 200 milligrams of caffeine. So about as much as 2 cups of coffee. And I said that to my friends, two people I actually do work with, that I was gonna chug them. I was gonna buy two and chug them. One of them didn't believe me. The horrified look on his face is something I will cherish for generations. As he watched me drink down 400 milligrams of caffeine in less than 30 seconds and not even jitter. He might think I'm a psychopath. Anyways, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, I'll make this part. I could probably get this part to 27 minutes with. Yeah, my monologuing. I was gonna bring this up to 25, but I could probably bring it up to 28. Still monologuing. Okay, Kirisho, stop. Okay, back on topic. A few days later, well, actually, no. Deku would have actually been talking with Mina, and she'd actually say that she's actually happy that he's coming back to school. He would tell her that it would seem so, but people are kind of looking at him funny again. Well, people are kind of staring at him. She would then explain that you kind of were very intimidating even before you died. But now, some of these people that are staring at him were actually at his funeral. And she would explain that you did die and come back to life again. So it's not odd for people to have known you to actually die. And then whenever you show up again, people would be kind of scared. Now then, after this, Deku would actually walk into the front gate of his high school, his middle school. People, it was all happy and fun and a lot of noise and conversations. Now, as soon as people would have seen Deku's face, they would have all stopped talking and just stare at him. He would then try looking in everyone's direction. He would look left, people would scatter. He would look right, people would scatter. Now then, after that, let's say Deku would have just said that no matter, seems like things are all back to normal again. Then he would try skipping his first period and go up to the roof to sleep. Now, after doing this, gym class has passed, and people are actually shouting. Because some people are missing their wallets, and others are missing other things. Someone's missing a pen. Someone's missing, like, not a pen, but someone's missing a wallet. Someone's missing. Let's say someone actually had insulin, and they're missing their insulin pen. Now, people would actually see as Deku is essentially yawning and stretching as he walks back into class. Then people would actually start yelling. Well, there would be that one person who would try and accuse Deku of stealing everything. Then Deku would just say that that's he is not a thief. He didn't steal anything. People wouldn't believe him because essentially he was the only student who was not there for gym class. A teacher would have actually heard this, and it's a teacher that really hates Deku. So this teacher would have actually pulled Deku aside and start yelling at him to just return their items. He stole them. And he'd start calling Deku a thief and how he's essentially acting like his tramp of a mother. Now after this, Deku would actually get mad and he would actually go to throw a punch at the man. But as soon as he would have cocked back his fist, this is whenever everything freezes and Koima would have actually appeared shouting over the man's shoulder. Deku would have immediately just kind of, what the heck, as he would have missed his punch and actually go flying off to the right, hitting the ground. Koima would then explain that this is an emergency and he has a case for Deku. Now, he would then say that 3 powerful artifacts have been stolen from his father's vault. Deku would then say that he doesn't really care right now, he's got an important matter. That some asshole, can't you see I'm dealing with this asshole? Deku would then immediately kind of like pause and he'd actually look at the teacher. Now, nothing is moving. Quite literally, nothing is moving. Deku's looking around confused. Kumo would then explain that he can't hear or see us. Now, this case is very important, and he needs to recover these artifacts before they destroy the world. Deku would kind of just say he's really busy. He's kind of busy, and he got to figure out his own situation first, because he needs to find out who the thief is. That is essentially putting all the blame on him. Kumo would then just say, just use one of the, bleh, use the magical item Botan gave you earlier, because there's your thief is right in front of you. Just look in his left pocket. This is whenever Deku would actually pull out a monocle. And this monocle is actually a spirit monocle. It's infused to run off someone's spirit energy. And it can actually see through clothing, walls, and actually trace down people. Well, not trace down. Well, it can see through clothing, walls, and basically almost any object. Well, any object, actually. This is whenever Deku would actually put it up to his eye and look into the teacher's left pocket. It's got the wallets, some money, photos, and even the EpiPen. Well, insulin pen. After this, Deku then said that this asshole did set him up. He knew some teachers actually did have it out for him. Now, after this, Komo then Komo will explain to Deku that yes, the teacher did it. Now he needs to work on solving the case. This is whenever Komo would then unfreeze Deku, and Deku would just say that, here, check his pockets. He would then take off his shirt. Well, he would take off this jacket he's wearing and hand it over to the teacher. Because the principal was actually there whenever Deku was being accused. The teacher would actually check his pockets, and they wouldn't find anything. One of them would be confused. Well, the principal would be confused. Then Deku would say, fine. Now, he would then say to the teacher, empty your pockets. The teacher would say no. He doesn't have to do that. Deku would then say that, what, do you have a guilty conscience? He's being accused, and you're essentially harassing him. That if he wants to, he can probably call the police and actually get his teacher arrested. Because this guy actually did punch Deku in the face. Now, after that, the teacher would then begin emptying his pockets. And he actually does have a lot of lost items Deku was accused of stealing. After this, the principal would get mad and return all the items and then fire the teacher. Now, this guy was like really an asshole. Anyways, he's gone. Okay. After that, the guy would be walking out, and he would then, Deku would then say that he really wants to kick his ass. Deku would then be told by Kurama that he can, but he would be expelled. So just attack him invisibly. Deku would ask what he means. Then Kurama would say, just fire your spirit gun at him. Point your finger outwards and focus all your energy into your fingertip. And then imagine the trigger in your mind and begin to squeeze it. Deku would do this and actually shoot the spirit gun at the teacher, knocking him over. Now the principal would actually get mad and shout at Deku. But as soon as he would have turned to shout at, Deku would have actually put his hand back in his pocket. And Kuma would explain that that's very powerful, but he can only use it once a day. Now, Deku would have listened to this because it was actually really cool. Because come on, he doesn't have a quirk. And this is actually a superpower to him now. This is essentially a quirk. It's basically a quirk. So he can't consider himself as no longer quirkless. He can actually become a hero with this. Now, whenever the teachers did turn to shout at Deku, they would have immediately, well, the principal would have immediately stopped because Deku was actually quirkless. And he would have actually made sure the teacher is okay. Now, the teacher would actually begin walking away and getting everything from his desk and leaving. Alrighty, that is that's a good amount. That's a good portion. Now, is this part at that's 25. Now then, Kumo would actually go into detail and state that the three items that were stolen were the sword. Well, it's a demon sword, a sword that anything it cuts will turn into demons. It's also the Eye of Ba. Well, it's the Forlorn Hope, the Eye of Ba, and the Sword of Darkness. The Eye of Ba is basically a demon soccer ball. That may be a confusing way to put it, but you can. It's essentially like you can kick it around like a soccer ball, and it's actually used to harvest souls and even. Well, it's also like it's supposed to harvest souls, and because it resembles something so similar to the human world, humans often would mistake it and actually get their souls taken away from it because they just see it as a weird soccer ball, just a different color one. Okay. Now, the Forlorn Hope is actually a mirror that anyone who makes a wish in it will have their wish granted. And the Sword of Demons is a sword that if it cuts anything, that thing will turn into a demon. Now then, that is gonna have to leave it off this part. Ugh. And I'm gonna be recording the next part tomorrow. I just wanted to get this one more video out tonight because I felt like with pre-recording everything, it's weird to me. Weird. I didn't like it. It's unsettling to me because it doesn't like it takes the human interaction out of everything. So I'm actually gonna look through the comment section and see if anyone did comment anything. Because I want to say, actually, since I did start this today, I got 10 new subscribers, and that actually did surprise me quite a bit. Now then, yeah, I'm gonna go, guys. I hope you guys had an amazing day, and I hope you enjoyed the video.